Do you ever feel like you're surrounded by people, but still feel completely alone? We all crave connection, to be seen, truly seen. But somewhere along the way, we started building walls instead of bridges. So, how do we drop the armor and find our way back to each other? Let's dive in. We hide our imperfections, fearing judgment and rejection. This fear keeps us small, preventing us from experiencing the fullness of life. True belonging requires authenticity. It demands the courage to be imperfect. Self-acceptance is the foundation of wholehearted living. It's about embracing our flaws and recognizing our inherent worthiness. It's not about resignation or complacency, but a radical act of self-love. When we accept ourselves, we create space for growth, joy, and genuine connection. The journey towards self-acceptance is not always easy. It requires us to confront our deepest fears and challenge ingrained beliefs. But the rewards are immeasurable. When we choose courage over comfort, we unlock a life of meaning and purpose. This is the path to wholehearted living, to live, love, and lead with our whole hearts. We are enough, just as we are. It's time to embrace the beauty of our imperfections. From a young age, we are bombarded with images of perfection. Airbrushed models, flawless social media feeds, and unrealistic expectations create a sense of inadequacy. We strive to fit in, to measure up to these impossible ideals. This pursuit of perfection is a trap. It leads to comparison, self-doubt, and a constant feeling of not being enough. We hide our true selves, afraid to reveal our flaws. We build walls instead of bridges, isolating ourselves from genuine connection. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. It's a manufactured ideal designed to sell products and fuel insecurity. When we buy into this illusion, we sacrifice our authenticity and diminish our own worth. It's time to reject the pressure to be perfect. Embrace your imperfections. They are what make you unique, interesting, and worthy of love and belonging. Vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness. We're taught to project strength and confidence, to hide our struggles and fears. But true strength lies in embracing our vulnerability. It's about showing up as our authentic selves, even when it's uncomfortable. Vulnerability is the birthplace of connection. When we allow ourselves to be seen, truly seen, we create space for others to do the same. We break down walls of isolation and build bridges of empathy and understanding. It takes courage to be vulnerable. It requires us to confront our fears of rejection and judgment. But the rewards are immeasurable. When we embrace vulnerability, we open ourselves up to deeper connections, greater self-awareness, and a more fulfilling life. Remember, you are not alone in your imperfections. We all have them. It's in these shared vulnerabilities that we find our common humanity and build meaningful connections. Section 4, silence the inner critic. From self-doubt to self-compassion. We all have an inner critic, that voice inside our heads that whispers doubts, fuels insecurities, and magnifies our flaws. It's the voice of self-criticism, and it can be incredibly damaging to our self-esteem and well-being. The inner critic thrives on shame and fear. It tells us we're not good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. It keeps us stuck in patterns of self-doubt and prevents us from pursuing our dreams. The key to silencing the inner critic is to cultivate self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. Acknowledge your struggles without judgment. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes. It's part of being human. Instead of dwelling on failures, view them as opportunities for growth and learning. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small. The art of self-acceptance. Practical strategies for growth. Self-acceptance is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. It requires intentional effort and a willingness to challenge negative self-talk. Here are a few practical strategies to cultivate self-acceptance. Practice gratitude. Focus on the positive aspects of yourself and your life. Cultivating gratitude helps shift your perspective and foster self-acceptance. Challenge negative thoughts. When you notice self-critical thoughts, challenge them with evidence to the contrary. Replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Focus on your strengths. Identify your strengths and talents. Celebrate your accomplishments and acknowledge your unique abilities. Forgive yourself. We all make mistakes. Holding on to past regrets only hinders our growth. Practice self-forgiveness and extend the same grace to yourself that you would offer others. Remember, self-acceptance is a process, not a destination. Be patient with yourself and celebrate each step you take towards embracing your true self. Living authentically. Aligning actions with values. Living authentically means aligning your actions with your values. It's about showing up in the world as your true self, even when it's difficult. When your actions are congruent with your values, you experience a sense of peace and purpose. Identify your core values. What matters most to you? What do you stand for? Once you have a clear understanding of your values, start making choices that align with them. This might mean saying no to commitments that drain your energy or having difficult conversations with loved ones. It might involve taking risks, pursuing your passions, or simply being more honest with yourself and others. Living authentically is not always easy. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. But the rewards are immeasurable. When you live in alignment with your values, you experience a sense of freedom, fulfillment, and inner peace. The transformative power of self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is a transformative practice. It frees us from the shackles of self-doubt and allows us to live with greater authenticity, joy, and purpose. When we embrace our imperfections, we unlock our full potential. Self-acceptance enhances our relationships. When we accept ourselves, we are better equipped to accept others. We cultivate empathy, compassion, and a deeper understanding of the human experience. This allows us to build stronger, more fulfilling relationships with the people around us. Embrace your imperfections, celebrate your unique quirks, and embrace the beauty of being perfectly imperfect. The world needs your authentic self. Remember, you are enough just as you are. It's time to shine.